Good morning. Okay. We are going to do our grapefruit today. So, and wait. Good morning, Lisa. All right. Are we ready for this? Okay, so we're going to use 350 for the center, the Blanc for like in between, and then the 741 for the outside edge. My throat just does not get better. What, honey?
Gemma is angry.
Gemma is angry?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go talk to her? Or do you want me to talk to her?
You talk.
Gemma, come here, hon. Okay. We have some whiny children today. Okay. So let's start with our 350 and do our center. Hold on, I gotta readjust this. Give me a second. I always like put it all the way down and then I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta zoom or else I won't be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. All right, I'm going to start with 4 strands. Okay, so I've got my 2 and my 4. And then I'll just slowly pull that apart. Finally made it live. Way to go. I know they're not at the greatest time, but it's the time that works best for me, so. And since I'm the one that has to be here live. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want you to just draw like a little circle because we're not going to go all the way to the center. Please be nice to your brother. Thank you. Gemma, thank you. Okay, so because we don't want our stitches like all the way in the center. Okay, go play. Where did my needle go? Oh, here we go.
I found him.
Okay, go play in your room, please. Okay, so today we're going to do some lazy daisies or detached chain stitch, whichever you want to call it. I call them lazy daisies. So this is what we did for the seeds on the watermelon, but we're going to do a whole lot more of them. It's 5 p.m. here. Yes, we are 10 a.m. I woke up an hour ago. Summers are for sleeping in. My whole family sleeps in. Okay, so we're going to start in the center and work our way out. So we're going to, our center meaning this circle. We don't want our red to be in the very center, okay? So we're going to go like middle of each segment, and we're going to go up and down in the same hole. Now remember you have a knot there when you came up, so when you're going down, be careful you don't snag it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is bring this out to the edge. We don't want it to go all the way to the very edge because we're going to put an edge on our grapefruit, so maybe even a little bit in. I'm going to go about there. I might have gotten too much thread. It's starting to like knot everywhere. Okay, so we want to pull that snug, but not too tight, so it still has kind of that loopy look. And then we're going to tack it down on the other side of that loop. And then we're going to do the same thing. Right next to that knot, we're going to come up, or right next to this other one. So we're still on like that center circle. And I promise you, it looks like more than 3 can fit, but don't do it. I mean, you can if you want. I'm not going to stop you, but I would highly recommend starting with 3 and doing the whole thing before you decide if you want to throw some more in there. Okay, so pull that snug and then down right on the other side. Gemma, can you close your door, please? Okay, so there we've got 2. And then we're gonna go, oh, I came up in that instead of next to it. And we're gonna do our 3rd. I usually hold my loop out of the way so I can see where I'm coming up, just so we're all on the same page. That's what I do. Okay, this middle one got a little bit messed up. Oh man, I am not happy. I gotta fix this. If you're taking out lazy daisies, take out the part that you tack down first and then the loop. Oh, that was the first one I did. That will drive me crazy, and it's the first one, so I'm definitely taking it out and redoing. Oh my gosh, this thread is so long. All right, let's try this again. Hold on, now I have to thread my needle and it's not wanting to. Today's gonna be a day. I can feel it. Okay. Okay, don't snag your thread coming up. Don't be like me. Find a new hole. There we go. Okay. I am much happier with that. Okay, so we're just gonna do that same thing for each of the segments. Some of these got a little bit skinny, so if you feel like you can only fit 2, that's okay. But we kind of want to leave a gap between the segments because we're going to do a stitch of white between them. So maybe even plan on doing a couple with 2. I'm going to do 2 in this one. So I'm going to spread them out a little bit, but no. When I was practicing, I did 3 in each one. So I'm going to stick with 3. That little hole, if you Just rub your needle over it a little bit, it'll kind of go away. Sometimes these loops do not do what I want them to. I think I'm gonna do half of the grapefruit and then I'll let you do the other half on your own. So stick with me while I get some of these done. And then I'll show you what we're gonna do with the edge. This thread might be perfect for half the grapefruit. The perfect amount. Is anyone else getting sick this summer? I swear, we've been sick more times than I can count this summer. And we have been home way too much. Poor Roman, I think, has pink eye now. Don't know where he got that, but that just means another few days at home. Okay, 2 more. This last one, it's gonna be a tight fit, but I am gonna make it happen. Just a little thread chicken with this last one here. The tiniest bit left. Okay. So I'm gonna tie that off and then, oh man. Okay. Look at, that's all I had left. It's a tiny little piece. Excellent timing. Okay. So there is what the inside flesh of our grapefruit will look like. Now we're gonna do a couple of things for the center. So the center lines on a grapefruit are quite thin. like the veins, like between the segments. So I only want to use 3 strands for that, but then the skin, I don't know the right words, just excuse me. But like this, the outer, like the white part before the part of the peel is really thick. So I've got 3 strands of the white to do between the segments. You could also leave that out. They really are not very defined, but I want to. So I'm going to start up here between the segments and just do just a straight stitch right into the middle. Just to help break those up so we can kind of see what's going on. And then I'm gonna go, when I go down, I'm going into that same hole every time. Don't pull it too tight because you'll pull a hole open in the middle. I'm gonna leave here and here for after I finish the rest of those. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off, and then we're just going to double over our thread and use 6 for the outer edge, because it is quite a bit thicker. Okay, so I've got that doubled over on my needle, and then I will just tie the 2 ends together. Okay, and then we're just gonna do a back stitch right along the edge of our, these segments. So keep these as consistent as you can as you're back stitching. We're just gonna go right up next to that red. And we back stitched along the banana, but we're just going forward a stitch and then back into that stitch that these are all connected. Honestly, you could probably do a second row like this too if you wanted to, because on grapefruits this portion is so thick. But I am not going to do that personally because I don't want to. Okay, 2 more. Okay, it's kind of harder to see, but once we get the orange on there, it'll be more visible, so I'm not super concerned. All right, let me just move this out of the way. Okay. So now we've got, this is the lighter orange. It's the 741 is what we're gonna do the outer edge with. Hang on, I can't find the end of this. I hate when the end is hidden. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to 4 strands because we're gonna do a whipped back stitch. So it'll end up being a little bit thicker anyways because we'll back stitch it and then we'll whip it. So I wanna start off a little bit skinnier because that whipped will give it some bulk. Okay. Just to keep things consistent, I'm just gonna make these stitches the same size as the white ones. And we're just gonna lay them right next to it. Look how bright and fun this is. I am excited. Oh, that one was a little bit big. Now, since we're gonna whip this, there's a lot of stitches that are in the way. So if you are worried after you watch me whip this back stitch, you could do the orange first and then the white so you have less stitches to work around. But just make sure you have the right amount of space that you want between the two. I wanted to make sure that these could be right next to each other, so I wanted to do the white first. Almost there. And I would also recommend finishing the whole thing before you start doing like the edge and stuff, but you know, here we are. All right, one more. Oop. Okay, so for a whipped back stitch, you back stitch first and then you whip it. Okay, so we're gonna go up here where we ended. We're gonna go in the same hole. And we're gonna slide our needle between the white and the orange, and we're gonna work our way out. If you whip it and do it, like, you technically could go this way, but I think you'll have a harder time like avoiding other threads. Like, the direction isn't gonna matter with this, but putting it, like working your way out, is gonna be easier to not snag a bunch of threads. So work slowly. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the next one. We're gonna go between the white and the orange and work our way out. Okay? Always working our way out. So then as we work on this, it'll start to like twist around those threads. If this gets to be too much, you could also just leave it as a back stitch. You don't have to whip it if you don't want to. But I think it does add a little bit of fun. Now you have to be even more extra careful when you get up by this banana that you don't snag the yellow while you're at it. So I like to work kind of from behind. I will like use my middle finger and just like press up on the fabric where I'm doing a whipped back stitch so that it is a little bit higher. So I don't know, you can't really see that on the video. I mean, you can kind of see it moving, but I'm like pushing up from behind. So that it's a little bit easier, that I'm not like trying to snag that banana. Okay, so I'm gonna go back down right there. And there we have our grapefruit. So the lemon, this is a lemon, by the way. Like you'll stop your whipped back stitch. So when you start stitching your edge, I would start here, go all the way around, and then stop here, and then you can whip it backwards. Same thing with the white, you know, start down here and work your way around. So then you're not like trying to do stuff behind the lemon. I mean, you can, it's not going to be a big deal, but anyways, that's how I would say to do it. Finish your red center and then do your edges from the top of the lemon to the bottom of the lemon. Okay? What do we think? Doable? Fun? Look how cute it is. See, like a whipped back stitch just like makes it all twisty and cute. We'll do something different with the orange. We don't want to do the same thing twice. So we'll do something different over here. These lines are so crazy, but don't worry, it will be fun. No need to stress about it. So anyways, have fun with this one. I think this is one of my favorite fruits to stitch besides the pineapple. These were the two I was most excited about. So anyways, I hope you have fun with it, and let me know if you have questions, and I can't wait to see your progress. I will see you again tomorrow, and we will be done for the weekend. Okay, bye guys.